Hey folks, back again for another vlog. I just watched Star vs. the Forces of Evil, Episode 1. This is a commission for deNota-Hoffman, which is why it's a different show than Gravity Falls. He has been a really loyal backer on my Patreon since basically the beginning. And so he recently upped his pledge to the level where he gets to commission one of these a month. So as long as he maintains that level, I'm going to keep doing commission episodes for him every month. So this month he'd requested Star vs. the Force of Evil Episode 1. Here we go. This is not a show I knew much about. Basically going in, I had seen the opening sequence, I think, and that was about it. I knew the title, I knew it was a Disney Channel show. The impression I had was that it was sort of this evil being posing as a magical girl, and this boy having to deal with it, or something like that. Clearly, that was incorrect. What it actually is, as the first episode lays out, is Star is a magical princess in a fantasy kingdom who's a little bit of a wild child and is sent to live on Earth for a while because it's safer. Safer for who exactly? Not entirely clear. I suspect they're really just trying to get her out of the way because she's been causing chaos, especially now that she has the family magical wand. The first episode basically introduced us to a few characters. Star herself, who is a blast. She is really a very fun character. She's just this very energetic little girl with, I guess she's 14, so not that little. But very energetic teenage girl, very imaginative. She appears to be able to do basically anything as long as it's a 3-word phrase, which is a nice little, she shouts them, magical girl attack style, and her wand makes them happen. She's got very little control over her powers. I really enjoyed the puppies with laser eyes. That was a very cute visual gag. And yeah, she's basically just chaotic ball of energy, which is always a fun character. Be interesting to see if they give any depth to her as the series goes on. I'm guessing no. The other character we get introduced to in the first episode, the other major character, is Marco, who is pretty standard, dull, play it safe kind of a boy who wants to be more. He craves adventure and stuff, but he's also clearly very anxious, very kind of rules-abiding, don't do anything wrong, keep everything organized kind of a guy, which makes it hard to go on adventures. And of course, immediate clash between his approach to life and Star's. There's a little bit of a manic pixie dream girl thing going, which I'm not a fan of. It's just very overdone. In the sense that, boring guy with quiet life, and then wild crazy girl comes and breaks him out of his shell. But at least there doesn't seem to be any kind of a romantic element between the two of them, which would be even more of that cliche. I like the idea of the two of them as just friends. And I like that Marco already had, the karate skills to fight the monsters that come in later on. He's not completely helpless, which would be a little bit too much of the Magic Pixie Dream Girl, I feel, if she, had to be his protector on top of everything else. But it still is very much like a wish fulfillment type thing for Marco. So I hope that we remain primarily situated within Star's perspective, because it'll just be more interesting that way. And yeah, the other thing that happened in the first episode was, I guess, probably going to be the main villain. I did not catch his name, but the little owl-looking guy with the skull head attacked and attempted to steal the wand and got driven off by a combination of Star's powers and Marco's karate. We'll see if he comes back, I guess, if I end up watching more of this. So yeah, that was basically the first segment. This is a 2x11 show, similar to a lot of other shows, but the one that immediately comes to mind, because it's also a Disney Channel show with the same structure, is Phineas and Ferb, which is 2x11 structure. So yeah, the second segment was honestly a lot more fun than the first. The first one kind of felt like it was just setting things up. The second was a lot more fun. It was the arrival of Ponyhead, who was a floating unicorn head that apparently was Star's best friend. And excuse me. This is very much not what I was expecting. I was expecting the show would be following kind of a fish out of water comedy formula with Marco is kind of the grounded guy who knows Earth, and then Star gets them in trouble with her ignorance, and that kind of a thing. I'm glad that they didn't immediately go in that direction, that they did something different, because instead it becomes about Star trying to reconcile her new life and her old life, trying to get Marco and Ponyhead to be friends. And, at first, Ponyhead is very negative about this idea. She's very possessive, and even more, I think, wild than Star. Like, she just wants to go and party and have fun. Is very possessive of Star, as Star herself acknowledges. And so we get kind of the new friends versus old friends rivalry kind of thing going. But mixed in with that is the people hunting Princess Ponyhead, and initially I had assumed, she committed some kind of a crime and these were the police, or gotten mixed up with, organized crime and these were mobsters or something like that. Something pretty bad. As it turned out, it was just people working for her dad, because he'd, I guess, gotten fed up with her partying and was sending her off to reform school. Which I'm actually hoping we eventually get to see what's so bad about this reform school. I mean, it's reform school, so it's probably pretty horrifying. But I'm hoping we eventually get an episode where, I don't know, either Star gets sent there and they have to bust her out, or better yet, Star and Marco go to bust someone else out, like maybe Princess Ponyhead. But anyway, so of course, she gives herself up to free Marco from their interrogation, and that causes her and Marco to be less antagonistic, and yay, everyone's happy except Ponyhead has to go to reform school. I really liked the design for her dad, just this massive unicorn head, just kind of floating, huge. I enjoyed that. I don't know why, that particular design really struck me as being a great design. The show in general looks really good. It's got a looser kind of animation than most of the other shows I've watched for these vlogs. It's more cartoony, for lack of a better word, but it really works with kind of the frenetic energy of it all. And the thing I liked most about this second segment was that it ended with them acquiring the interdimensional scissors, which means we now have two totally different kinds of adventures that can be gone on. We can have interdimensional travels where Star is the expert and Marco is the one out of his depth. Or we can have Earth situations where Marco is the expert and Star is out of her depth. And it'll kind of be fun to... What I'm hoping is the series will involve both, but mostly interdimensional stuff, because they're clearly having a lot of fun drawing strange creatures. This episode alone had, the party cloud or whatever it was, and all the creatures there, and the pit of spikes below it for some reason. And the one, just from the hat, you could tell that was the skeleton of a douche bro that was chanting for Marco to fall. I mean, that was a lot of fun. You had the squares and the Tetris gag in the arcade dimension. You had the monsters in the first episode. And, of course, Princess Ponyhead and her father. A lot of really just imaginative, energetic designs for these characters. And I'm hoping to see more like that. And the interdimensional travel will give a lot of opportunity for that. On the other hand, Adventures on Earth would allow for, a stable of recurring characters. I'd like to see more of that principal. He seemed like fun. The fact that he gets given this huge amount of money and his first thought to do with it is to go buy ice cream. That it's the classic thing of the authority figure who, not so secretly, is really just a big kid. Like the mayor from Powerpuff Girls. It's a fun character type that's, always enjoyable to watch. Or, kind of exploring Diaz and his family and his parents and all. Or other people at the school. So there'd be advantages to sticking on Earth. The main problem with sticking on Earth is that I feel like it would very quickly become, Dharma and Greg with a magic wand. It would be, oh, look at her, she's so wacky. We have adventures because she's so wacky, and boring straight man gets dragged into the adventures. And, it's all just magic, like I said, manic pixie dream girl up the wazoo. Whereas, the interdimensional adventures, would help break that up, would help make it more of, fantasy adventure type stuff, more of a magical girl type thing. Excuse me. Like I said in the previous video, still sick. So it'd be, I'm seeing potential here. I'm seeing pitfalls. I'm seeing ways in which this show could easily go very badly wrong. But I'm also seeing a lot of potential for a good show here, and it's really just a matter of what they do and where they go. I definitely enjoyed it. I'm not instantly in love with it the way that I was with Steven Universe. I'm not even I didn't have any laugh my butt off moments like in the first episode of Gravity Falls with the gnome reveal. But it's not bad. It's an enjoyable show, and I am open to, if I get more commissions or whatever, I'll watch it. Or if I have, I might watch it on my own if I have the free time, which won't be anytime soon, but you never know. Yeah, it's not bad. There's definitely stuff worth talking about here. And I really do want to see more, because if they go the wrong way with it, that's still worth exploring. It's still worth talking about, how this potential has been squandered into a manic pixie dream girl type situation. On the other hand, if they keep it situated within Star and her perspective, and they keep mixing it up with the interdimensional stuff, and we get a little bit of, character to these characters, then it could be really good, and it could be worth talking about in that perspective as well. So either way, I think, this is an interesting show to talk about. And, like I was saying, it looks good. It's bright and colorful and fun, with a more cartoony style. Excuse me. The character designs are really great. I love Star's little demon horn headband. It's just like everything else about her is cartoon princess compressed into a high school teenage girl, just, flowers and flowing lines and long blonde hair and all that stuff, and then devil horns on top. Just a nice little touch that gives us a hint of what her real personality is like, which is, not evil, not mean, but chaos. So yeah, looking forward to this. If there is more of it. In the meantime, kind of just gonna, I'm going back next episode to more Gravity Falls. But I would not be averse to revisiting this show at a later date. But yeah, that basically sums it up. Manic Pixie Dream Girl Boo. Fun adventure, magic, parody magical girl type stuff, yay. And it's just a matter of which way it chooses to go. So, yeah. See y'all next time.